Okay, you guys, so next week is exactly 6 months since I had botched Botox in LA. I will never stray from Dr. Claire again. The person injecting me hit my DLI really badly, and I really didn't start.
I see a lot of girlies on here talking about their TMJ Botox, like the one that you get right here that like snatches your jaw. I did that. Look what happened. Every time I bit down, look at my little jaw. This was like 2 years ago.
All right, guys, today we are reacting to some of the craziest Botox transformation and Botox failed all over social media. Some of this actually turned out amazing and some honestly look horrifying. Now, before we start, Botox can be done safely when handled by trained professionals, but when it goes wrong, the side effects can be serious. Today we are talking about good result, bad result, side effects, red flags, precaution before getting Botox. Let's get into it. Welcome to the channel. I'm Joy. If you do enjoy this kind of content, make sure to like and subscribe. Let's get right into the video.
Went in for a consult with a very well recommended practitioner, and within 15 minutes this person was putting needles in my face. It's like, oh, you're gonna wake up in Hawaii with your daughters feeling so beautiful. 4 days later I wake up in Hawaii with my daughters, and my daughters are crying because my face is completely collapsed. I woke up with an absolute migraine. I had a rarity where everything just went the opposite way. So my eyebrows dropped, I got huge dark circles, all the muscles shut off under my eyes. But the most agonizing part was I had never had headaches, and I had these massive migraines, and I couldn't go in the water and swim because my face was burning. I wore sunglasses the entire time. How do you look at your daughters when you're trying to tell them to be comfortable with their own skin and not have to change and they're beautiful as they are? And I had an elective procedure. It's funny, right before she put the needles in my face, I was like, I feel like I'm gonna faint. Like I feel really uncomfortable.
I feel that way every time before I get it. And I'm like, this is my nervous system telling me it's not.
Okay, you guys, so next week is exactly 6 months since I had botched Botox in LA. I will never stray from Dr. Claire again. The person injecting me hit my DLI really badly, and I really didn't start to notice it getting any better until month 4 or 5, as you can see in this 4-month update I did. Now, here's 6 months. Ready? Teeth, smile, pretty much back to normal. Thank God.
Sorry that my face was paralyzed. So now I can't smile. So here's an update on my botched Botox. Little recap. I got Botox in my jaw for my TMJ. My face got paralyzed. So now I can smile this big. It's still crooked. All my friends are telling me that it looks way better than it did. But it's still not great. And I just feel like my whole face is like still like dragged down. Like I have jowls. When my mouth is closed, there's still like my mouth is like pointing south. And my smile still looks unimpressed. So I still look pained. So hopefully it'll be gone in the next like month or so, because I'm surely sick of this.
Mass eater Botox gone wrong.
Oh my god, no, this poor thing. At least she's laughing. I don't think I would be laughing if I were in her situation. I'm not sure whether it was purely the masseters that she got Botoxed or whether she did her masseters and what's called her DAO down here. Because if you look at her smiling, her side of her face, like the corners of her mouth, don't even elevate or don't even upturn when she smiles. So I wonder whether she got either her masseters and her DAO injected, or the trio, the masseters, the DAO, and then her mentalis muscle. This can sometimes happen if the injector misses the masseter, which if you're skinny or if you have tiny masseters, sometimes there's a low margin of error there, and you really have to be good to know what a needle that's going through muscle feels like and what angle your needle should be in to hit the masseter while also avoiding the arteries and the veins that you clearly don't want to inject Botox into. What are the fixes? Man, there aren't a lot apart from letting your Botox wear off. If it's possible that the injector missed the masseter, a fix is to go in there and put Botox where it's supposed to be. But if they had Botox in both their masseter and their DAO, sometimes the DAO Botox can migrate and it can cause that side of the lip to kind of paralyze and not be able to pull up or smile properly. Good fix for that is Upneek. You can actually take a little Upneek, soak it in a gauze, and leave it on the affected area there for a couple minutes, and that can actually help you regain some temporary movement in your mouth. But this poor thing. It's so horrid. I'm happy she's happy and laughing.
I see a lot of girlies on here talking about their TMJ Botox, like the one that you get right here that like snatches your jaw. I did that. Look what happened. Every time I bit down, look at my little jaw. This was like 2 years ago.
This botched Botox is ruining my life. Not to be dramatic, this botched Botox is ruining my life. Are you... Hey, nice to meet ya.
This poor lady has had Botox, which has clearly gone wrong. But what's really going on here? My name's Dr. Divine. I'm an aesthetic doctor. Let's discuss. This lady clearly has a wonky smile. I imagine she's had a treatment to the DAO, the depressor angularis oris muscle. People have treatment to this area to turn the corners of the mouth up, making the mouth appear less droopy. But there are many other muscles in close proximity to the DAO. The muscle just adjacent to the DAO is known as the depressor labii inferioris, otherwise known as the DLI. Now, this muscle is responsible for pulling the bottom part of the lip down. And so you'll notice when she's smiling on the right hand side of her mouth, the lip is being pulled down to widen her smile. But on the left hand side, she is unable to do this, creating this lopsided smile. Well, to put simply, the reason this has happened is because the Botox that's been injected to target the DAO has been missed, and the wrong muscle has been hit. This can happen for a couple of reasons. Firstly, if the doctor administering the Botox misses the target muscle and hits the wrong one. Secondly, this can happen if the patient doesn't follow the aftercare or becomes very hot post-treatment, encouraging the Botox to move to muscles that are not being targeted, otherwise known as Botox migration. The good news, now, whilst this is not the most ideal situation, the Botox result is not permanent, and this will gradually wear off over the next few months and should be completely worn off by 3 months. But ultimately, you do want to avoid this type of complication in the first place. Has this result ever happened to any of you guys?
My Botox quote-unquote journey, for lack of a better word, is that I got Botox for 10 years and I got it last August, and I just want to say I had never talked about it in this way, like face to camera on TikTok or Instagram, because I am not anti-Botox. I don't want to be part of the anti-Botox movement. I don't want to be the face of the anti-Botox movement. Anything like that. I think I was just unlucky. I do think that there should be more transparency about adverse reactions, but that is a different topic for a different day. So I've talked about this ad nauseum on my podcast, so my listeners know what happened. But basically, I got my injections in August of last year, 2023, and I got Dysport. And the next day, I felt really weird when I woke up. I had weakness in my extremities. I had terrible anxiety, but not like mental anxiety. It was this physiological fight or flight feeling of just panic. And I had muscle spasms all over my body. I had like weakness in my neck. I had dysphonia, so my voice sounded really like squeaky, almost like I was being strangled. That day, as the day went on, I started getting blurry vision. Things were going like dark. And then after that, I developed completely dry eyes to the point where I couldn't look at my phone. I had to just lay there with compresses on my eyes. And I went to like 10 different doctors. So I went first to an ENT because I thought my equilibrium was off. I can't remember if I said like debilitating vertigo. He sent me to a neurologist who sent me to get an MRI. Sorry, I'm sick. I have a cough, so I have to pause. But I went to get an MRI. That was normal. And then the eyes completely dried out. So I went to see an ophthalmologist. He sent me to rheumatology to do an autoimmune workup. That was all normal. He sent me to infectious disease. I said to all of these doctors, I was totally 100% fine before I got the Botox. And then the next day it was like a light switch went off or the rug was pulled out from under me. And they all said, no, it's not the Botox. They were all looking at different things. And infectious disease sent me back to neurology. So then we went down like the vestibular migraine path again. They were all giving me all kinds of like meds, steroids, migraine medication. I went to an OBGYN because I thought maybe it was some sort of like thyroid or hormone crash. Everything was normal. Ended up back at infectious disease, who said, no, it's not the Botox. And then I was finally referred to psychiatry, who diagnosed me with major depressive disorder, which I've never been depressed a day in my life. So very frustrating. And finally, the company said that it sounded like I had pseudobotulism. I had all of the side effects that are on the box that can happen from toxin spread, which they do warn about distant toxin spread in the hours, days, and weeks following injections. But nobody really seemed to acknowledge that it could be that until 6 months later, a dermatologist had me send in the progression of my symptoms and timeline, all of that, and he said it sounded like textbook Botox poisoning. So I did go back once I was feeling better because I thought maybe it was something else. I tested a few units and I had a similar reaction but less severe, so I don't know if I developed a sensitivity to it. Since I've been talking about it, I have heard from hundreds of people who have had the same experience, so I'm not sure what it is. It wasn't counterfeit Botox. I was just unlucky. So 14 months since I have had injections. And you can't see because I have my ring light on, so it makes my skin look flawless, but I do have full movement. Okay, my Botox quote-unquote journey.
Remember how I got botched Botox in LA 3 months ago? Well, I have been tracking my progress every week, and in 3 weeks, I'll share the final video that I've been making. This has been a wild ride.
Okay, I'm judging the shit out of you. I can't look like the Grinch. If I go like this, I can smell what the Rock is cooking. Let me tell you about the Botox that I recently got. I love Botox. I get my forehead, my frown, and my lips done. Right, if it's not for you, then do you, boo, but I love it. I go to a new place because my normal place is fully booked. She's doing the injections and she says, your forehead muscles, I can tell, are really, really strong. You're going to get something called spocking. She explained it. It sounded like a brow lift. And I was like, oh, that's fine. Like, I have hooded eyes. That's okay. Fast forward to the 10 days where it's nearly fully kicked in. Oh, she's spocking all right. What? I've never in my life been able to put my eyebrows up so high. Okay, I'm judging the out of you. If I go like this, I can smell what the Rock is cooking. I look like the kid from Maze Runner, except I paid for my eyebrows to look like this. And I can't help it because I'm so expressive. It's why I need the Botox in the first place. She's wild. She's got a mind of her own. She needs Botox to calm her the fuck down. Look at it. And this is giving bull. Like, it is not okay. If your injector tells you that you're going to get something called spocking, you fix that on the spot. You don't let it go.
Okay, check these pictures out from a botched Botox. Look at them. Would you want that? No. What happened here? She said she went and just got a dimple removed. Her smile was then crooked and she claimed it was the result of the Botox. She's correct. Which dimple do you think it was? As I'm saying this, as you look at the pictures, if you're an injector, what muscle was affected? It absolutely makes sense. And she said she also had a lisp. You have to be careful with lower face Botox. It can do many great things. The dimple she talked about was chin dimpling. I originally thought it was over here near the zygomaticus muscles, but no, it was the chin. And yes, there's a muscle that pulls down when we smile. It's counterintuitive, but that's what she got dinged. And yes, that will last a few weeks, usually 4 to 6 weeks. Look at the crooked smile. Which muscle do you think that is?
Story time on how I got declined for Botox. So obviously I'm just so young and beautiful, right? I'm joking. I went to Canary Wharf a couple of weeks ago, went to get a Botox appointment, 3 areas, just wanted a little brow lift like that, right? Because everyone's got Botox, right? And I'm not being one bit funny, Natalie, but they're lying if they say that they haven't. And I wanted that, you know, and just to freeze my face so that the spots wouldn't come. Anyway, I went for a couple of concerns. She specialises in skin, she specialises in injectables. I'm very, very, very cautious of who I'm going to let touch my face when it comes to things like that. This has to be a doctor. I'm sorry, you have to have a doctor degree for it, don't be rude. So, went there and she basically said to me, like, babe, like, I'm not doing Botox. Like, your problem that you have is not that you're like, you need Botox. The problem is you need to fix your acne. So you've got active acne. I was like, I know, babe, I know. And she basically told me, like, I need to go on the lamicycline antibiotic, which is what I've done, and I've been on it for about a week now. Story short, so I went all the way there, and obviously couldn't be injected anyway because I was on the amoxicillin. But she said to me, like, you need to go on the lamicycline, right? You're doing it for 3 months. in January, come back and see me. I said, right. So doing that, she showed me, like, I think it's called like a Baji or something, skincare. It's like £500. I was like, absolutely not. And she was like, you can either go down that route, or you can just stick to like a simple skincare routine. She's like, but you literally don't need the Botox, darling. You don't need it. Also, I asked her about my under eyes. She was like, honey, we are not injecting your under eyes. Like, you do not need polynucleotides. You're not a suitable candidate for tear trough. If you hate your under eyes, go get a lower left. It's one-time procedure and it'll be sorted straight away. Do not even try to fill under there, right? I basically came out of there fuming because I was like, I thought I knew what I needed. And then 5 minutes later, after I had some tacos, I realised that she was right. And I'm so glad that she took me away, because right now I could be looking scary. I could be looking like my eyes opening and like no expression. Do you know what I mean? I do need Botox eventually, because, you know, I'm lying as fuck. I'm like, you know, I don't want to say it, but obviously they say black don't crack, but I am half white, so, you know, I will age quicker than, you know, my mum, which is actually sad, because when I walk out my mum now, are you sisters? So am I older? Is she really young looking? Do you know what I mean? It gets me down. At the same time, I love it because she's the best. She's my bestie. I haven't got anything done. I won't be getting anything done. And I might get a low left, but that will be like maybe when I'm 30 or just before, just so it can heal for my 30th. And I was like, because this is it's just inherited, honey. And I know I've been thinking about it for a couple of years now, so it's probably one thing I will end up doing eventually. But yeah, and I have been on a cheeky sunbed once, and to be honest with you, I no longer look like, you know, I've got extreme low iron and that I'm gonna fall to the ground and I'm like really dying. And my previous video that I posted, that dog, see how pale I was? Yeah, that was mad. This is one sunbed. You shouldn't go on a sunbed, it doesn't help your skin. It helps my skin. I don't know what it is in that sunbed. It's like a miracle cure. Every time I get in that sunbed and I have a spot, it just seems to go. So when I had that long breaks, everyone's saying don't use them. It didn't help. But I don't know, anyway, chat. I'm just letting you know that that's what happened. And I hope you enjoyed my story time.
This is why you should never go to random people online just because it's cheaper. Quick explanation for anyone confused. Botox works by temporarily relaxing muscles. That's why wrinkles soften, because muscles movement get reduced. But if the wrong muscles get affected, the result can look very unnatural. If you are ever considering Botox, please remember this precaution. Go to a licensed professional, research their credentials first. Don't trust random TikTok injectors. Check reviews before and after. Real client result matters. Start small. You can always add more later. Avoid ultra cheap deals. If the price is too good to be true, that's a red flag. Ask what product is being used. Fake Botox products do exist. After watching all these clips, I think the biggest lesson is this. Botox himself is not automatically bad. Bad Botox is the problem. When done professionally and conservatively, results can actually look great and natural. But chasing trends, overdoing it, or going to unqualified injectors can seriously backfire. If you do enjoy this reaction, smash the like button, subscribe, and comment below. And I will see you in my next one. Bye for now.